What is your BHAG? That's your big, hairy, audacious goal. That is what I want you to do this week. Your one thing, are you coasting? Are you not living up to that pie in the sky vision that you set for yourself? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Who do you want to be in 5 years? Are you doing the yearly, quarterly, monthly, even weekly things that will keep you on track to reaching that ultimate version of yourself? And if you're not, what's something, one thing that you can do this week to get yourself back on track? What is going on, my friend? I am so happy that you're here, joining me on another episode of What's Your One Thing? I'm your host, Jordan Hiller, and this week I'm going to beat myself up a little bit. I know I might do that a lot, but I'm just not feeling like I'm living up to my potential. And let's talk about that. Last week's episode, we talked about fear and what is holding us back from achieving our goals, our dreams, our aspirations. And we talked about those being in two buckets: fear of judgment or the fear of failure. Now, I dove deep into my fear of judgment and how I'm just afraid of what people might think about me. And that stopped me from sharing things like this podcast on social media, Facebook in particular, the land of social judgment. Now, my goal for last week was to put those fears aside and just post more, put myself out there, be vulnerable to that fear. And you know what happened? It was great. I got so much positive feedback. I mean, I'll put one here, and just people were overwhelmingly kind and supportive of my journey. And it felt really, really good. But there's a but coming. But I also fell into that trap of just mindlessly scrolling through the feed, the never-ending feed, and getting zero value. There's a phrase in content creation that you need to create more than you consume. And I definitely consumed more than I created last week. We are in February. This is usually the time people start to falter, fall off the wagon of their New Year's resolutions. And I can feel that too. I can feel myself just getting into this coasting mode, and I do not like it. It hit me. I am not living up to my potential. I have this grand vision, this goal, this big, hairy, audacious, they're called BHAGs, this big, hairy, audacious goal that I want to achieve in 5 years. And I realized that I was not living up to that potential. And I'm going to publicly announce what that is here to give myself a little bit of a kick in the side and give myself that drive. So going to publicly announce my big, hairy, audacious goal is I would like to share the stage with one of my idols. His name is Mylett. He's a world-renowned speaker, coach, and entrepreneur, and just overall seems like an amazing guy. I fell in love with his podcast probably about 3 years ago when I just got into my personal development journey. And that is the epitome of what I think being a speaker would be. Not only sharing the stage with Ed, but having him introduce me as the keynote speaker. Now, I've done a lot of speaking throughout my life. I'm not afraid of it, but I've never been a keynote speaker at an event. And to be at that caliber, at that level with somebody like Ed Mylett, that is a audacious goal to have, but that's what it is, and that is what I'm striving for. But I am not living up to that potential. If you follow Ed Mylett, you'll know that he talks a lot about your thermostat, your internal thermostat. Generally, somebody that's, just goes day to day through life, you're at about 75 degrees. That's comfortable. You're comfortable with that. And it doesn't matter what temperature it is outside. It could be 100 or it could be 50. Your thermostat is set to 75. If it gets too hot, it'll kick on the AC. If it gets too cold, the furnace will kick in, and it'll always keep you at that 75 degree. Now, somebody with ambition, somebody that wants to drive, their thermostat's higher. They're 85, 90, 95, 100 degrees, and they are running hot, and they're getting things done. So that's what you need to do. You need to bump up your thermostat to keep moving yourself forward. Now, nobody is perfect. We all have this tendency to fall back to our baseline. You might go on that 85, even that 90-degree bender for 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever it is. But something happens. You get an injury, you get a setback at work, you miss a sale, you don't hit your targets, you don't hit a KPI, whatever it is, you hit this roadblock, and this is the actual turning point. This is where you can either go back to that 75 degree, or you can stay the course, Pick yourself up by your bootstraps and just keep going at that 85, 90. You cannot let yourself fall back to that baseline. You need to set a new baseline. That 85, 90 needs to be your new base to run at that higher temperature. Now, the last week, I felt myself sliding back down to that 75 degrees. I was coasting. I thought I was doing a whole bunch of stuff until I actually sat back and analyzed my week and realized I was just doing busy work. I was just moving for the sake of moving, but not making any progress. It wasn't getting me anywhere closer to my goal of sharing the stage with this world-renowned speaker. I even went as far to print out a picture. I've got it sitting next to my desk, so whenever I can find myself, if I'm doom scrolling or if I'm not staying on task, I can look over and there's Ed right there telling me to focus, get back. So these little things that we can do to help keep ourselves accountable. So what am I doing? I am publicly announcing that in the next 5 years, I would like to be a keynote speaker, and I would like to have Ed Mylett be the one that introduces me to the audience. Okay, that is a lot. That is what I want you to do this week. Your one thing, are you coasting? Are you not living up to that pie in the sky vision that you set for yourself? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Who do you want to be in 5 years? And are you doing the yearly, quarterly, monthly, even weekly things that will keep you on track to reaching that ultimate version of yourself? And if you're not, what's one thing that you can do this week to get yourself back on track? That is what I want you to do. That is what I'm going to do. Listen here, people, I do the homework too. I am not some guru that knows everything. These are really workshop sessions for myself. This is a great journal. This is a great process that I can go through to hold myself accountable. And I really hope that's what it's doing for you. So let's get back on track. Let's do it together. And always, please reach out, send your comments, complaints, concerns to whatsyourone@gmail.com. That's the words, what's your, the number one, and the word thing @gmail.com. And let's refocus, let's reset, and let's grind together. I'd love to know, what is your BHAG? That's your big, hairy, audacious goal. Again, mine is to share the stage with Ed Mylett. Not only share that stage, but get introduced by him. Gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Okay, that is it. I'd love to know yours, and I will see you guys next week, and I'll give you an update. I'm gonna get that thermostat back up to 90. Let's go 95, let's go 100. Let's go 100 degrees this week, people. All right, it's cold here in Wisconsin. I don't know where you are, but we sure could use that 100 degrees. All right, my friends, Jordan, out. Chest up, there we go. Testing, testing. Hello, Jordan. Nice tour shirt you got on today. I am so happy you're here because today is another killer episode. Okay, got the jitters up. All right. Your one thing. Okay, now we're going back. Okay, yeah, all right. What are we at? 3 minutes in? That was okay. Let's just take it from the top one more time, and let's just see if we can kind of get a little bit better with that, consuming more than creating. Okay,